So now we have put our placket in. That was our first step. The second thing we did was make our cup, which was a nice flat rectangle. Next, we put on, sewed up our seam, which was here. That's our underarm seam. Now what we're doing, we've also put the cup on. Now what we're doing is putting some top stitching on the cup so that we are catching the inside, the underneath side here, so that it's finished. We've tucked in, I'm just going to show you here, we've tucked in our seam allowance. We've tucked that into the cuff itself, and now what we're going to do is put a little top stitching onto the cuff itself to finish, give it a finished edge. All right? So, again, what we want to do is this. We're going to start in the back here, and I'm going to do a double row of top stitching. I'm going to start at this back corner, and I'm going to stitch very close to the edge first, and then I'll do a second row of top stitching also. Lots of times I usually like to have that a little bit longer stitches, so I'm going to change that to about 3. And again, I'm just keeping that right close to the edge here as I go. And I'm just making sure that I'm not catching anything as I top stitch around my cup. Go all the way around my cup. I'm going to come down this outside edge. And notice as I get to the corners, I'm picking up my presser foot and turning the corner. And then I'll come up to where I started. Stitch there. Okay, and then I'm going to cut my threads, and I'm going to do a second row of top stitching so that I do a double layer. You can do just one layer if you'd like, or one row of top stitching if you'd like, or if you'd like to, I kind of like the way it looks if it has 2 rows of top stitching, so that's why I'm doing that. Now what you want to do is make sure that it is symmetrical to the one you just put in. Okay, so you want to use that as your guide. And just keep it as even as you can to the stitch that you've already put in. Judge your distance here because you want to turn this corner and you don't want to go all the way to the edge because you want this symmetrical to what you've done on the other top stitching row. as you go, you'll get used to looking where you're lining things up. I'm keeping my eye right here because I'm trying to keep my stitching that I've already done right in the middle of this presser foot, this part of the presser foot right here. Cut your threads when you're finished. Now the other thing I just want to show you real quick, the other thing that you can do when you're top stitching, instead of having cut threads, what you can do is this, and I might have shown you this before, is pulling the stitch from the front of the garment to the back of the garment by actually pulling the thread up. And this is easy to see because I have pink thread on the top and white on the bottom. So when I pull my thread up, I can tie this on the other side, and then I don't have any cut stitches on the right side. Now, that would be one way in which to pull the pull the thread so that you don't have any stitches, loose threads on the front of your garment, which is probably a better way than having just cut your strings real loose. Okay? So pull it to the back and then trim it. All right, and in that way you can see that I pull these strings so that I don't have loose strings up front here. Okay? All right, so there's your top stitched completed cuff. All right, the next thing that we have to do is just put buttonhole on, probably 2 buttonholes on here. Okay, we'll do that next time.